Hello YouTube, this is One-Legged Prepper, and I wanted to cover one of the C's of survival. It's called cutting tools, and the different uses we have for them. Up here in the top corner here, we've got the Apple One, which is made by Survival Lily. And you can find that on her channel, Survival Lily. She's an Austrian survivalist. And I gotta be honest with you, when I bought this knife, this is probably a little bit more heavier duty than what I needed. But basically, that can help you cut down a fairly small size tree. And open tin cans. Makes a great pizza cutter. It's got so many different uses, but you want to be careful about carrying this on your person, because it could be considered a concealed weapon. And also next to that, I have a meat knife or a fillet knife. This was actually a gift from my uncle who has now passed. So, knives are kind of a gift in the family. And you mark your age by who gives you a knife. But this knife is used for processing meat, like if you need to clean a fish or got a deer. That would be your knife of choice. Next to that, I have a Leatherman Wave, which has a couple of cutting tools on it, scissors, a couple of knife blades. The saw blade on a Leatherman can be used to strike a ferrocerium rod. So they're really a handy tool to have around, and definitely worth the money. Next to this, I have my trusty neck knife. That's what the lanyard is for. And this knife is used for processing wood, cutting open boxes, everything you need to use in your daily life. And as you can see, this knife is a little dirty, so it does get used a lot. You can split small pieces of firewood with that through batoning. Batoning is where you hold the knife over the piece of wood and then you strike it with another piece of wood to split the log or wood in half. And then next to that, I have a small tomahawk or hatchet. And this is used for processing small pieces of firewood and taking down a small tree. It is a very useful tool. As you can see on the back of it, it has a hammer, and as you can see, I've used it several times for opening canned goods. So a tomahawk and axe are tools you should have for falling trees. And then over here, speaking of gifts, this is my son's bear knife. This is a gift I have given to him. because he has shown proficiency with a knife and has not cut himself. He has had a knife for 4 years now. So when he was 4, I gave him a small pocket knife, and he has graduated up to something bigger. As you can notice, all of my knives have scabbards. That's when they're not in use, they are placed in the scabbard so that accidental cuttings don't happen. And I keep them razor sharp. I will get to the sharpening stone in a minute and what you should do to do that. I also use olive oil to coat all of my knives, for the simple being that olive oil will always be available. Always have it in mass quantity, whereas if you use a petrol type oil, it may not always be accessible. So the question I often get is, Jeff, what do you do when you work in an office but you want to have a cutting tool with you? That's where these trauma shears come in handy. I get mine from Refuge Medical, and I suggest you check them out. The medical shears themselves are not too expensive. I want to say under $10, $15. Very, very nice to have. They will cut everything you need to cut in the office, with the exception of processing firewood. So, I recommend having these in the office. That doesn't allow you to have a knife on your physical person. And then we come to the sharpening stone and the cup. This is a sharpening stone. And what it is used to do is sharpen a knife. And what I'll do is I'll let this stone sit in this cup overnight in water, so that the next morning when I have to sharpen all of our knives, as you can see, there's quite a bit of knives to be sharpened. Now this is just the knives I carry. The Kid Prepper has 3 or 4 of his own. So when I sit down and sharpen knives, I will be there sharpening them till they're razor sharp, and it usually takes about an hour. But you are safer with a sharper knife than with a dull knife. And as always, when you cut away from yourself, so that way if the knife slips, you don't cut yourself. Well, YouTube, I would love to hear your comments and your suggestions. Oh yeah, before I go, the one thing I don't have here is a brush clearer or a machete, which I actually have both. It took me a long time to get comfortable with using a machete, for the simple fact of how big they are and how they can easily be weaponized. But the thing is one day I was clearing some brush, and I was working on a video with an actual machete, and I discovered that you can bury a machete into a piece of wood and use it to pick up such a piece of wood. And ever since then, I have been a believer in using the machete. Well, as always, YouTube, this is a one-legged prepper, and if you found this video useful, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, this is a one-legged prepper wishing that the Lord may bless you and that you have a great and wonderful weekend. Thank you very much and have a good day. God bless. This is a one-legged prepper. Out.